where they were.
Starting the recording. Okay, recording in progress. Let me just make the announcement. Hi, my name is Jonathan Fisher from Cascade Rail Foundation and the Pacific Northwest Archive. Welcome to today's program, hosting or featuring Wayne Monger sharing images from 2018 Milwaukee Road UP Convention. A couple of quick items before we start. December 6th, Lowell Smith and I will be back on the program. We'll be talking about the Alaska Railroad Centennial in Nenana, Alaska. December 20th, we have the pleasure of having Dr. Rob Leachman, president of the Union Pacific Historical Society, and he will be talking about the Blue Mountains. We're starting to book some events for 2024. One of them on January 13th, 2024, one of my dear friends, Jack Christensen, will partner up with another one of my dear friends, Gary Tarbox, at the Highline Heritage Museum in Burien, Washington. And they will be doing a program on Northern Pacific trains going to Grays Harbor. And so Jack, of course, you know, driving trains back in the steam days, driving trains back in the passenger days out there. That's a fun program that will be streamed. And let me just admit somebody, like I say, that will be streamed, and we will also capture that program and distribute it over the Cascade, or excuse me, the PNRA YouTube channel in that case. So on that happy note, I am, as your host, going to try to share screen here. And hang on here. Looks like I'm sharing screen. Wayne, can you see me okay?
I can see the screen. I can't see you okay.
Okay, well, that's good, because I mean, that's that no one can, as I said last week, no one came to see Ed Sullivan. They came to see the Beatles. So let me get this image. There we go. And from the beginning. And Wayne, I'm already getting some nice commentary about the attire with the hat. It's very festive, very Thanksgiving-ish. And on that note, could you please take it away? And again, folks, we're recording the program, so please mute your mic and turn your camera off. Wayne, it's all yours.
Okay, here we go. This presentation was given at the Combined Union Pacific Historical Society Milwaukee Road Association Convention 2018, and this is out of the BAERA Electric Railroad Association archives. So let's go to the next screen, please. So we're going to cover there were two passenger excursion trains BAERA Electric ran, one in 1960 and the second one in 1962. Not one in 62, you see by the screen, it was the last passenger excursion train to operate over the Milwaukee Road under the electrified, both the Rocky Mountain Division and Coast Division. So most of the photos here are from 62, but they're also 1960 excursions. So, okay, next. So just the credits as to the photos that came out of the archives over here, BAERA Electric, Western Railway Museum, specifically Dudley Wessler collection, and also Art Lloyd, Chuck Michelli, Robert Slocum, Jeff Moreau collection. Beep. So we start off with the going to the 62 trip first. So this was they departed San Francisco Bay Area here in the 30th of June. They went to Salt Lake City. Salt Lake, they transferred to the UP, the Butte Special from Salt Lake to Butte. Went to Butte and picked up their special train at Butte, and they rode all the way from Butte west to Avery, then on to Spokane. And you'll see here that their layover day at Spokane, they actually took the Northern Pacific Bud car from Spokane down to Lewiston and back. See a few photos from that and some movies. Then after that, they did Othello to Seattle. So let's go to next. Once again, all these flyers are out of the BAERA Electric archives. So here's just a rundown of what they're going to see along the way. And this run was actually both BAERA Electric and also the Golden West Railfans trip, I believe it was. So it was two railroad history groups that put this train together. Next. So you see, this was the BAERA Electric Railroad Association. Their review, their newsletter. You can see there the Milwaukee Fair trip, grand success. And so mentions they had 2 Pullmans and Santa Fe Cafe Lounge along, and then they were joined up by the Golden West Railfans that had I think it was 5 cars on that train. So it was like an 8-car train. And they mentioned about the run-bys for photo locations, and they went to Seattle to the World's Fair, and they headed back to San Francisco. Okay, next. And then 2 years previous, that they did a 7-day, 7-state, 4-railroad, 3-day spectacular that also included the Milwaukee. And this trip here, they only rode from Butte to Avery. Then the train went from there up to Spokane. They went down river to Portland. And then they went back to California, San Francisco Bay Area on the SP. So it was a shorter trip. Okay, next.
Oh, hang on.
Yep.
I've done it. There we go. Oops. Okay.
So here you go. You can see the costs. That's pretty good. A roomette for one, $195 for 3 days for this. And also notice that this trip here, 1960 trip, the onboard dining service and also the rear end car, they actually had West Pacific crews, dining car crews on board this train for 3 days. And the rear car is the West Pacific 653, which is still in existence. It is a nice, it's here at the BAERA Electric Railroad Association, Western Railway Museum. It's a nice car to go into and just kind of kick back and relax like that. It's a nicely preserved car here at BAERA Electric. And also you notice that the person dealing with all this, making the reservations arrangements, was Arthur Lloyd, who's tour manager. And Art Lloyd, for many of you probably know that he worked for Amtrak in the first, I think, 10 or 15 years of Amtrak out of the Bay Area here. So Art was well known here in California and around the West. Next. So here's the BAERA Electric, the newsletter. Mentioned they had 119 people on that Milwaukee Memorial trip. And you'll see there, they mentioned about the kind of copper, various mines in Butte. They did all sorts of different things. And that the WP provided the menus and also providing the meal service on board. And you'll notice down about the 4th paragraph down, they mentioned Insley Brain, called talking about the photography location. You'll see Insley Brain's movies here after we finish the slides here. Next. So let's start off in beautiful downtown Salt Lake City. This was the departure point after they left the Bay Area on the California Zephyr, came to Salt Lake City on the CZ, and started from here, went north from Butte. Next. This is a photo from off the rear platform of WP 653 at the Silver Bow at the junction there, UP and NP. So it's a nicely detailed view of the junction there at the UP and the NP, just outside of Butte. Next. So here they are at Butte. Looks like late afternoon. North Coast Limited and Butte Special side by side at the depot at Butte. Beep.
You can see the moon off on the far right of the picture.
Yes. So we'll focus on the 62 excursion here. Okay, next. So here's just a description of what they were planning to see at Butte on that day before they departed, especially about the Butte Anaconda Pacific. So here's the BA&P, the passenger depot there, downtown Butte. A lot of the overhead canton area still there. One of the pair of box cabs with the BA&P, the rider coach for employees and for passengers. It says still 1962, so they still had passenger service there out of Butte. Next. Caught a pair of box cabs switching some of the industries downtown Butte here. Next. So we are over here at the Milwaukee yards. I've been at this location before, not way back this time, but here's the Butte switcher putting the excursion train together. So there's the so this is 62, so that's a Santa Fe observation lounge they have there that came with that train. The 3 cars from BAERA Electric, and then the other 6 cars from the Golden West group. So here they are putting the train together. Next.
Yeah, Wayne, I just noticed that City of Butte truck off to the right. It looks like he's got a load of gravel or something in there.
Yeah, isn't that nice?
Yeah.
Nice detail.
And then the kids with the dog waiting at the grade crossing.
Yep.
Yeah.
So here's the train ready to go. You can see that's about a 8-car train here. And right behind Little Joe, you've got the steam generator, the former steam locomotive tender that Milwaukee turned into a steam generator for a passenger service on the electric, behind electrics. So here are about ready to go west out of a Butte yard. Next. This must be off the back platform of the observation car, or out of the window, but here they are heading out of the yard, coming across the Butte Junction here with the BA&P and the NP, UP, all underneath, et cetera, et cetera. You can see the mine head frames up on the hillside, up ahead off to the right, are all the active mines here for at Butte. Next.
And Wayne, they're crossing over the NP and the BAP in there, aren't they? Or are
yes, they? Yes, I believe they are. Yeah, and the UP. UP comes in also right there.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yep,
now,
yep.
If it's Butte, why do they have an M up on the hill?
I think it's before the Montana School of Mines, I believe it is.
Yes,
okay.
Montana Mining School.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Is that Kurt?
Yes, hi.
Okay, first meet of the day. Pair of Joes eastbound with a pair of Jeeps behind. Okay, next. This is out near what is it, Anaconda, west of Butte, right where the there's a spur here, takes on off. So they decided to do a photo run by at this location. So they did a stop and did a photo run by here with the train. Next. It's the if I remember right, this is the water waste pond from the smelter. You can see the smelter way in the distance there, off to the left-hand side, the mountains with the snow. You can see the smokestack out there, belching smoke. But this is the big copper smelter out at Anaconda. Oh, Warm Springs Pond. Okay, yeah. Okay, next. And once again, another meet to go in the siding. Everyone gets off the train and do some get the photo run by coming on past here at Sinclair. Once again, pair of Joes.
Is that the NP off to the right?
Yes, it should be. Yes, with the signals. Yeah, that's the NP off to the right.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
So next.
Yeah. Hang on.
Yeah. Being stubborn.
Yeah, it's being stubborn. So bear with me. I apologize, folks. Hang on here. There we go. Sorry.
Is it Deer Lodge pulling power off to service it? Also, add water to the passenger cars.
Back in the day when people would dress up to ride the train.
That's right. Yeah. Heading out of Deer Lodge. Boy, Deer Lodge doesn't look like that anymore. At least the depot's still there.
Yeah, I think it's a church now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, approaching Missoula, right along the river right here.
If you look way down there, Wayne, there's somebody on the tracks.
Yeah, I see that. Don't know if it's a rail fan or somebody out fishing. So
Yeah.
and Missoula.
And they're just starting to build that overpass, you know. So this was 60 or 62 now, remind me.
Like I said, we at I think this is the 62 train.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be the 60 train, but so I mixed in the photos from both trains, just try to keep them geographically in sequence.
Sure. And here we understand what the M means, right, Dean? A classic scene, isn't it?
Yep. Oh, here's the, yeah. Okay. So the E21 was on the 62 train. E72 is on the 60 train. So here's 1960.
Those lovely horizontal ribbed Milwaukee Road boxcars. There's one that's kind of like a door and a half, and one of them, well, they're Route of the Hiawathas. Look at that.
Yep. There's double door cars for the old auto cars.
Right.
It's off the rear platform, downriver or upriver, whatever, doing about track speed about 50, 55 miles an hour. If you remember right, this is, I think, coming in. I'm trying to remember which tunnel this is. That's right here. No, I've got quite a few photos, but you know, see the guardrail there. I think they're going into a tunnel right here, going westbound.
Now for those, you know, those Milwaukee Road scoffers, yeah, I just want you to look that there's fresh ballast on the tracks. These guys did work on the track once in a while.
Yes, they did. And just think now, this same scene here, you have freeway going through here.
Oh,
Hardly even see where the right of way was at a lot of places. But there's a 4-lane or 8-lane freeway through there now. Station stop at Alberton.
so
Yeah,
those
look at
are a couple of what UP coaches on the front, and then
Yes, yeah, those UP, 3 of them are UP coaches.
okay.
Because that Golden West group had where they came from. They were the ones had UP equipment, and the Bay Area guys, they had Santa Fe and SP cars.
And look at those fresh ties in the yard. Look at that.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that the steam generator car sat on a siding on the turntable in Tacoma for many years. I always thought it was a very attractive piece of equipment.
The Milwaukee Road had added the XL special about that time, so I think they had good track.
Yeah. So here's the run by at Sear. You'll when we jump over to the Insley Rain movies, you'll see the movie of this this run by, and who's doing about 55 or 60 past the photo line here. So that must have been interesting. Have come up and stop, drop everyone off. Then he backed up good, I think about a good mile, and came by here, as you'll see in the movie, about 55 or 60 miles an hour.
Spoiler alert, folks. Yeah, that's how long it took. I mean, that's how fast the train is going. There's the going away shot.
Yeah.
And now, is this US 10, Wayne, do you think?
The what?
The road? What now is
I-
the freeway? The
yeah,
route,
yeah, it's the old highway. That's what, Highway US 12, right? Or something like that.
something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Up in the Bitterroots here, coming across Dominion Creek.
Yeah, I'm noticing, you look up on the hill and you can see some sunshine. So I'm wondering, is it a cloud or is it the time of day? It's kind of interesting.
I think it was getting, by this time it was getting later in the afternoon, so you will see shadows on some of these photos.
Okay, so this is westbound still.
Yeah,
and
they're
probably
yeah,
just getting into the afternoon, and up there
yeah.
it gets shady in a hurry. So,
And you see they're still 4 miles east of East Portals, so they're still on the Montana side of the mountains here.
yep, there you go. Those nice I don't know what you call look like a staple kind of for the electrification. Those big double trolley pole, I guess I call
Yeah,
it.
the overhead. Yeah. Now this was interesting that they brought the train on down. Everyone's standing down at Turkey Creek, and then they backed the train up, both in 60 and 62, to do this photo run by. So they backed the train all the way up around the loop at Adair, and so they're up on the upper end of the loop at Adair up at Kelly Creek. So they backed the train all the way up there, and then doing basically a long photo run by.
Yeah,
Okay.
when I first looked at this picture, Wayne, I thought, well, how long did they wait for people to hike down here?
Well, there's in the mention or the write-up as to about these trains that there was a mention in there that some of the people on the train, if they made a stop and they backed up, then some of the people that did not get off the train for the photo, they were looking out the windows from the upper level there and said, well, what are all those people doing down there? How do they get down there? and the conductor was having to tell them, no, well, those are our passengers. We were just down there. We just backed up this level. So yeah.
Yeah, there you go. What a great classic shot.
Yeah, Turkey Creek.
Yeah, well, great looking train too, isn't it? I think, it's kind of a, mixed bag, but I like it.
Yep. So you can see from here the 5 cars that the Golden West or the Golden West Railfan group got, and then of course the 3 cars, the SP sleeper, the UP sleeper, and then the Santa Fe lounge car at the back of the 3 cars the BAERA Electric group had.
Yeah, it's a heck of a shot. That must have been a fun day.
Yeah. Here they are coming back down around Turkey Creek, coming to a stop to let everyone back on the train.
Great stuff. Perfect time of day too. And they got sun. I mean, yeah, gotta be pretty. If you're not happy with that shot, you're not a Milwaukee Road.
You got to realize, this is the last electric passenger train on the Milwaukee. They advertised it such. Sure enough, it was.
Period. Yeah.
Here they are at Avery, moving the Joe, and you see the Jeep over on the right-hand side. The Jeep will come on up and pull the train into Spokane. So,
Yeah,
like I said,
spoiler alert, you might see this in the movie.
yeah. And so this is the 62 train. Yeah. Okay, go ahead and just keep on going. So yeah, the 62 train went up to Spokane. And then they parked there for the day at Spokane, and everyone rode the RDC, the Bud car from Spokane down to Pullman, Lewiston back.
Now, but Wayne, what confused me about this was, there's an 8-car passenger train. How can I get people from 8 passenger cars onto 1 Bud car?
Well, remember that you have all those are sleepers, so you don't have. It's not like having a coach where you have 50 or 60 people on a car, that you only got maybe 10 or 20 people at most in a sleeper car. So yeah.
Yeah, okay, unbelievable. Could you imagine being on, I mean, what a train.
And I think they did say they had like 119 people altogether on that train. So
Yeah, but it's still, I mean, that would still be SRO on a bud car.
well, I forget if some people decide just to stay there at Spokane and wander around Spokane for the day instead of taking the train or what. So
I don't know. Yeah, it's just kind of a mystery. Yeah. So this
So
is
here's
the schedule for that, right?
yes, yeah, the bud car. So you leave 7:45 in the morning, go all the way down to Lewiston, have about 2 hours at Lewiston, and then come back Spokane at right back at 7:00 p.m. So that's a full day.
Oh yeah, that would have been. Look at this beauty.
And so here it is at Lewiston.
Yeah.
And I think these are the former WP bud cars, because WP sold off their buds about 1960, and they went to the Northern Pacific. So I think these two are the former WP bud cars.
And that door right behind the cab door is kind of what the tip off is for that, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah, the baggage section in there.
That's a baggage section. Okay, I wasn't. Yeah,
Yeah.
The only ones I was on were in Alaska, and
Yeah.
just go up and sit with the engineer back in the
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
So
And in 62, once they got done got back to Spokane, Milwaukee took the train down from Spokane down to Othello, and then they sat there, I think, for a few hours, and they put the electrics on at Othello. They departed just before dawn. Made photo stop at Cohasset, west of Beverly, a few other places. So let's go ahead next.
yeah, Wayne, that Beverly Bridge. How long is that bridge in HO, Wayne?
That bridge in HO is 38 feet 6 inches or something like that.
Yeah.
Because a 3,005-foot long bridge in reality. So you scale it down to HO. So it comes out to be 30, about 38 and a half, almost 39 feet. So anyone who's been on the Palouse Cascade Trail, here's a view off the rear end of the platform of the tail car, just ducking into the east portal of the Summit Tunnel at Boylston, Johnson Creek Tunnel.
And this is like dawnish, right? I mean, you can just barely see the sun kind of creeping into the crevice here.
Yeah, this is just about maybe 15, 20 minutes after sunrise.
Yeah.
So we are hanging out the vestibule, coming down the grade toward Renslow Trestle, right out of Boylston Tunnel, coming down the grade to Kittitas.
And so then that would be the 115,000 volt Puget Power or Washington Water Power line that then powered the substations off to the right.
Yes. Yeah, that's the high voltage KV line. Yeah.
Yeah. The insulator, they have insulator conventions, and the insulator guys were explaining you could count the insulators to figure out how much juice was in the wire.
Yeah.
So I took their word for it.
Yeah. So here they are, and Renslow Trestle, which is the big bridge over I-90 out there. Here we are, just about 1 mile east of crossing over Renslow. Matter of fact, this is right about the spot where if you go out there, out on the trail now, the parking lot and the access point is real close to this point here.
Yeah, if you look off to the right, you can barely see a little bit of a guardrail for US 10 still. So I think the bridge is just on the other side of that cut.
Yes. This is coming to Cle Elum. They're about half a mile out of the yard. That's that first curve out of Cle Elum to the east.
Okay. I mean, the problem with Milwaukee photos, Wayne, is you always got these bloody wires in the pictures.
Terrible thing. And once in the Cleellum, take the siding and go into the yard at Cleellum, meet the E39, a freight going east.
Okay.
So yeah, so we were just kind of standing here just a few weeks ago, weren't we?
Yeah, we sure
Jonathan?
were.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't play with this. Yeah, we were up there with Frankie, and he was doing a tour of how the substation worked for a bunch of Puget Power interns.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, that's a familiar sight when we're up there.
And it's like the trees are still about the same height, but this is a photo pretty much right out of the right out the front door, the trackside door at the depot at the Cleellum right now. Still kind of looks like this, although the trees are a little bit larger. They requested a photo stop at the at Hyack at the east end of the Summit Tunnel.
Yeah, I always liked that box cab that they did. Wasn't it in a wreck, and then they rebuilt it and kind of streamlined it, and that's why it looks like this?
Oh, or that, or they just decided to make them some sort of streamline, because they had the E22 and 23 that were redesigned like this.
And it's got, I'm just, no, I mean, I don't mean to digress, but Wayne, look at those marker lights on the sides of the locomotives.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, great stuff.
And look at the heavy rail and good ballast.
We were a great railroad in our day.
So they decided to do a photo run by at Rockdale, the west port of Snoqualmie Pass. Our train came out of the tunnel, unloaded everyone, backed up into the tunnel, and here we are, the photo run by at Rockdale.
Classic shot, kind of a fall, or kind of a got that kind of coast-like feel in the air, you know, a little bit damp.
Yep. I did a photo run by on the main street at Renton. And for those people who don't know, this railroad here, this piece of railroad still is in existence. And this accesses the the Boeing plant. Is that right, Jonathan?
Yeah, I think they call the local the Renton Rocket these days.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this Pacific Coast trackage, which belonged to the Great Northern, bought it out from underneath the Milwaukee, who had a long-term lease for it. So I was just admiring, Wayne, there's a Rambler right next to the E22.
Yes.
I'm looking at this this really kind of cool store, which has got gifts and news and records and
nice neon signs on the outside.
yeah, just kind of a happening deal with this kid, you know, probably, well, he'd be older than me now.
Oh, Jonathan, that's the Renton Record Chronicle newspaper building.
That's the, oh, okay.
Wow.
Well, thank you, Dave. And a Great Northern caboose sitting down there with GN must have been up there switching too.
That's the Renton Rocket Crew. That's a PC caboose if you zoom in on the number.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Dave. Pretty nice stuff, Wayne.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah. Let's go.
Yeah, I kind of like looking at it though. I have to admit.
Hey guys. Hey. Standing on the sidewalk in that earlier picture, I just now recognized the two crew members from the Renton Rocket. The guy on the right in the overalls, that's Don Kirkwood. He would have been the fireman. The guy on the left looks like Pete Lopez. They're both Great Northern employees working on the PC.
Wow.
Wow. Hey, that was a great little insert there. Thank you very much for inserting it. And we got a bunch of guys in shirts and ties in the OBS car, Wayne. What's going on there, you think?
Hey, this is the 60s. If you go out riding a train, that a lot of people dressed up suit and ties. So plus also as I said, this was supposed to be the final electric powered passenger train over the Milwaukee. I wouldn't be surprised that you had some officials there also riding along.
Yeah, you know what, that could be. What do you think the conductor is signaling up to the locomotive? What's he trying to do here, do you think?
bring them to a stop because you got about 40 or 50 people on the sidewalk here taking photos.
Okay, so we're
Gotta
getting ready to
stop.
reload the train then.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that catenary support. I've never seen another one like that on the Milwaukee.
Oh, Kurt, you mean that triangle shape?
Yeah, it's very unusual.
Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah. And I was noticing they have a folding chair out on the platform of the business car.
Yeah. Railfan chair.
There you go.
Well, here's the train finally at the Seattle Union Station. I'm cutting the power off.
Yeah, too bad Mike Bergman's not here. He could tell us about those trolley buses. You see, there's a pair of trolley buses right over the top of it.
Yeah.
That's very cool. That would be kind of, well, I don't know. Yeah.
So there's the steam generator car dropped off or left with the train over there on the right-hand side. I love the Olympia beer, the brewery in the background there.
It's the water and a lot more.
Yeah.
So
And
what did they do with the train from here? Then did they deadhead back to the Bay Area, or what did they do?
Yes, they took this train and Great Northern Pacific, or maybe UP, took it back down to Portland, and then the three cars that the BAERA Electric people were on, they put them on the Cascade or one of the whichever passenger train for the SP there at Portland, brought them back down to the Bay Area. I'm guessing the other cars went back to Salt Lake or wherever on the UP.
Yeah, okay. And you know, I mean, I'm kind of a maintenance the way guy like me. You know, I'm looking over at these UP, you know, like dormitory cars and that maintenance of the way equipment. I always thought that stuff was pretty neat.
Yeah, and also remember that the fair was there, so the train was parked there at least a full day. So we're going to go to the World's Fair there at Seattle.
Yeah, I went. I was, I think, 7.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
here you go. Here's the advertising about you see down towards the bottom, Friday, July 6th, full day again in Seattle.
Dinner will be
there all day.
served on the exposition flyer this evening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll say there's your answer. It says there we will depart 5 p.m. via Union Pacific to Portland, traveling south. Then at Portland, we have time for a brief visit, then depart via SP. And they're back in San Francisco late on Saturday the 7th.
There you go.
I got to throw this in. Speaking of railroads on the peninsula.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And so this is available also.
Yeah, well, we definitely, because you know, Frankie can tell us how these barges operated. Well, you know, the 21 was a problem, but the 20 was good, or whatever it is. You know? So,
Yeah, that was some of the stories he was telling us the other day when I was up there with you when we went out to Cle Elum, wasn't it? About 20 and 21 barges.
Yeah, he sure was. Yeah, I was over at his house yesterday having coffee. He lives right on the beach in Docton. What a place. And this would be in downtown Seattle, wouldn't it, Wayne?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Seattle or Tacoma.
27, I think our dock was, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't look like that anymore.
Dock's no longer there, right?
No, the few pilings is about, I think, all that's about left there.
Yeah.
So, and of course, the dock and all of that was a you know, source of consternation in the later years. In fact, this is still got the remnants of the Y left, and that you know, was gone shortly thereafter.
Yeah. So
we at the end here, Wayne?
yes, we are. We'll jump on over into the movies now.
Okay, all right. So just bear with me, everybody, here while I mess around here for a second, and I'm going to stop the share for a second. And I thought that was just great. Anybody, while we're here, we got a second before we start the movie. Anybody got any questions? Quick, if you got a movie, or excuse me, a question, you know, you can put it into the chat, and we can deal with it that way, or we can we can, you know, wait till the end. So. All right.
This is Kent. I just wanted to say for all of our Milwaukee guests, I've got some pretty interesting news about Milwaukee records that we're
Great.
starting to discover and understand in another location. I won't say more about it now, but when we get to check-in time, if our guests are able to stay, I'll fill people in.
Yeah, we're running pretty good for time right now. We're about 1:44, so that's about expectation. And so, yeah, Kurt, I'd love to hear what, you know, Mark's on, Wayne's on. You know, we care about this sort of stuff. So yeah, we'd be interested at the end of the program talking more about it. So Wayne, here we go. I'm going to start the movie.
Right.
Cross your fingers, folks.
Yep.
Now, what was Mr. Brain doing up here, Wayne? Was he just visiting or what?
He was one of the charter members, BAERA Electric.
Okay.
So he was on the board of directors. He was like, so one of the that whole group that was very, very active dealing with setting up excursion trains, all the other things. Of course, this is 1662. The facility, the land over here at BAERA Electric or at the Rivas Junction, they purchased that from the WP Sacramento Northern in late 65, early 66. Matter of fact, I ran across a copy of the record for that the other day at California State Railroad Museum, referencing that. So up until that time, they had collection of equipment that was stored around San Francisco and Oakland. And they finally got a location up alongside the old Sacramento Northern main line out here at Rio Vista Junction. They purchased and they started developing that as the museum.
Yeah, some Milwaukee fans kind of cringe when they see those yellow and gray box cabs, don't they?
I did.
Not for long.
Yeah, I did find deep in the BAERA Electric archives that the board of directors at the time, when the Milwaukee was scrapping the electrification,
Yeah.
there's a letter on file in there to the Milwaukee requesting donation of a Little Joe, which would have been something.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Milwaukee, the response was, well, sorry that they're going to scrap. We basically need the money and et cetera, et cetera. So, but at least BAERA Electric did put out a request to preserve a Little Joe.
Well, we've got the one in Deer Lodge, right?
Yes, that's the one in Deer Lodge. Yeah.
So this is looking out the back of a skytop lounge at a orange a yellow and gray box cab bouncing down the tracks from would be Tacoma to Seattle, right?
Yeah.
Hey, John, it's not showing.
Yeah, we're still seeing your document list.
Oh my gosh, I am so sorry, guys. Hang on, let me pause this thing. Because I'm seeing that I'm sharing the screen. What's going wrong here? Let me back up. Let me try sharing the screen again. I apologize, folks. Because it says I'm screen sharing.
Jonathan, what we see is your Windows Explorer that shows the
Oh,
listing of
that's
the two
okay.
movie files.
Okay. Hang on here for a second. Thank you, Kent. I apologize. Let me get this figured out. Okay. Now, hang on here. Hang on. Your host hopefully can figure this out. And where they go here? Here. And now, can anybody see that? Films by Insley J. Brain.
Yes.
All right.
Yep.
My apologies. Now I'm going to relaunch the movie. Here we go. Sorry, folks. Thanks for telling me. Can we see the movie?
Yes, running now.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you for telling me. My apologies. Yeah, Wayne and I were just talking away. I assumed everybody was seeing this, so here we go.
So we started off in the yard at Tacoma. So Insley Brain was around, walking around there getting some movies, some of the equipment. Sorry about the quality, but this is what 8mm movies from 1957. So I don't think he had the best of camera equipment here.
It's in color. That's the good part.
Yeah.
Yeah, no trace of that building anymore.
No.
Washing the windows. Looks like they got a little bit of head-end business there.
Takes quite a while to wash all those windows on that Superdome.
Oh, wood, yeah. Now there's that yellow box cab that I was talking about.
Of course, you got to remember the train departing Tacoma, it's running backwards. So he's in the rear end car, the lounge car, which the observation
Sky
car
top.
looking, yeah, the sky top, yeah. So he's looking out the back window that's coupled right up against the box cabs coming out of the yard.
That's pretty cool, Wayne.
That is.
There's a little more typical Milwaukee track kind of bouncing along with that skytop lounge.
Are there any skytops in service now, either at tourist railroads or a private car?
The Milwaukee Road 261 group has the Cedar Rapids parlor car, and then Coffee Creek is the sole surviving sleeper observation car, and that's being restored now.
Thank you for the update. There's that beer sign of yours again, Wayne.
Yep.
I mean, even in yellow and gray, it's still a good looking car.
Overhead wire details.
Well, it's just kind of an interesting visual. So what are these things that we're seeing out the window with these bumps up on the roof? What are those things?
Air conditioning, vents.
Okay.
That's the vents for the dining car.
Those are ventilators. The dining car is just ahead of the Superdome, and so those are vents from the diner, from the kitchen.
Okay, thank you for that. So spoiler alert, we've seen a few of these photos, but now we get to see some live action.
So we saw the still photos of the switcher there putting this train together at Butte.
And there's a parcel of school buses back there, I noticed in the movie.
I think they were using school buses for people to stay overnight, get them from the train station here to the hotels downtown for overnight.
Well, that makes sense. That good looking ribside hack with that vintage ice reefer in a steeple cab. I mean, that's pretty Milwaukee-ish, Wayne.
Yep.
Those little guys ran all the way to the end. Bouncing along at track speed.
Well, that certainly helps us understand the condition of the Milwaukee right-of-way at this point in time. It was in pretty darn good shape at this point.
Yes, it was.
You know, look at this thing. Look at those diesels working. I forget what they hauled in those UP drop bottom guns.
Those little Joes next to diesels, it's like they took a locomotive and blew it up to 133% actual size. They're just so much bigger. It's crazy.
Here we are back in Missoula again with that bridge under construction. Did they do like a run by here or something, Wayne?
Yes, they did. They did a run by here.
I always thought that was a really cute steam generator car.
East end of the yard of Alberton. You can see all those people sitting out on the back platform there.
Yeah.
There you go. Here's the high-speed run by. See her.
Yeah, this guy is really flying. Look at this thing. Watching the signal drop.
Can you imagine Amtrak doing a high-speed run-by when there were people that close to the right-of-way? It was a different time, wasn't it?
Oh, yes.
It sure was. Hey, what substation is this?
I think they're at Tarkio, right?
Is it? Okay. Notice the lawns are all mowed on the bungalows.
Oh, yeah.
So we saw the still pictures from this earlier, right?
Correct. Yes. The photographers are down at Turkey Creek.
Yeah, I never made it back up in there. It sure is beautiful.
Jonathan, if you haven't done it, the bike ride is really great. You can ride down and then they take you back up in a school bus for a nominal fee.
Oh, well, that's good to know. Thanks,
Starting
Dan.
at the pass. Yeah, it's a blast.
Look at the light. This is perfect, Wayne.
Yep.
Wow. You can hear the flanges almost squealing as they go by. So then this is coming downhill out of the tunnel before we get to Avery.
Yeah, this is just before you get to Avery.
Okay.
Mid-trains in there.
Yeah, I was noticing that when I was watching this. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Switching at Avery.
Yeah, pulling the electric off, putting diesel on.
So they got in late in the afternoon here, it looks like. And what did they like spend the night here or something? And
No,
then
they went from here up to Spokane.
oh, they did. Okay.
Yes.
And then spent the night there and then came down on the UP and then went to Othello.
I remember there's the they rode the Bud car.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's coming. That's right.
Yeah.
I forget.
Yeah. So they took him to. Yeah, so they overnighted at Spokane and on the train. They got off the train early in the morning, went over to the Bud car, rode the Bud car down to Lewiston and back.
There you go. Okay, that makes sense to me now. Thank you.
Yeah.
Look at these guys running around on the tracks. My gosh. Yeah, no railroad official would mind that. And then here come the diesels.
Santa Fe observation lounge in front of the substation at Avery.
Not something we see every day.
So you can see here that there's a Bud car was not full. It was, so you had a significant number of people decide to just stay there at Spokane for the day instead of riding the Bud car.
Yeah, that's what it kind of looks like. Yeah, and it's a little bouncy, but you know, for it's pretty good for being inside a Bud car in action. You know, that's not bad. Now this is pretty ambitious trying to shoot, you know, color this time of day. It's ambitious.
Okay, this is the morning. They're backing out of the siding. That's the depot at Othello on the left. So they're backing out of the yard onto the main line. So this is pre-dawn off the back platform. So it's amazing that able to get any images.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. It's like, wow.
And of course, you got the clear signal to the back. Then here they are, just part of Othello, heading west. Once again, off the back platform of the observation car, looking east toward Othello and toward the rising sun. Then across the bridge at Cohasset, about a mile up from Beverly Bridge. Here's the early morning photo stop. Right on the grade right there. Come through Ellensburg, right past the where Central Washington University is now. So this is part of the railroad that's covered up because it goes through the university. The trail goes around the university.
Right. Yeah, that was one of the first things the university did is make sure they couldn't put a train back there again.
Yeah.
Built like a big chemistry building or something right in the middle of the right of way.
Yes. They're at Horlick, right near the tunnel. They're in Yakima River Canyon. Headed for Cleella. This is a nice part of the trail to hike and bike on right now. Down along the Yakima River.
Oh, it's a beautiful area. The Homa Cascade Rail Foundation.
Yep. Iron Horse Bed and Breakfast just off to the left there.
4-unit box cab with looks like a couple of Jeeps. Maybe a trio of them. Maybe 4 of them. Look at that. It's a big train heading east.
With that much power on the head, how'd they keep from pulling out drawbars, I wonder? Or that's crazy. Well, they managed somehow.
So here's the run-by coming out of the tunnel there at the west end of the tunnel. Snow columning.
Just awesome. Wow. Steam generator car burbling away.
Yeah, here's downtown Renton.
Is that your Rambler, Dave Sprout?
Wow, this is amazing. Video of running in the street. This is just priceless.
And there's your crew guys from the Pacific Coast standing over there on the side.
Yeah, that ain't my Rambler.
You're a rambling guy, but not in that way.
We thought those Ramblers, all of us Studley types in the 60s, we thought those Ramblers were awful grandma's car.
Is that an SP slumber coach or is that a bedroom car?
I think it was a bedroom car.
Okay. Oh, there he is, waving to the head end. Here we are.
Yep. Everyone walking down to get back on board.
Renton Depot. Dave Sprout, did you ever work at the Renton Depot? You must have.
Well, no, I never actually worked there, but one time when all the power went off in Maple Valley for 4 days, we unofficially moved the dispatchers down there so they could work in a heated building. And I worked there one evening on a dispatcher shift.
Jonathan, I actually worked there a number of times as a telegrapher.
Did you, Ken? Oh, that's great. Yeah. Sure doesn't look like that at Union Station anymore.
If we dig out the Maple Valley train sheets for these days, we would have the names of the Milwaukee crews on these trains. It would be listed there. And so
Without the dates, that's a good thought. We should do that actually, yeah. And that brings us to the end of our movie.
Right.
So
Very
let
good.
me stop the screen share. And let me turn the view back to a gallery. So everybody is here now. And I am going to end the recording.